I asked 3 different AIs to give me their best 1-minute scalping strategy, and I ran a simulation to test which one had the best results. I'll reveal which AIs I asked as we progress in the video, but make sure you stick to the end because one of these strategies has the best results I've ever seen on a 1-minute strategy. It's actually insane. For the prompt, I asked each AI to give me a 1-minute long scalping strategy with objective entry and exit conditions. And I'm going to be testing all of them on NASDAQ futures on the 1-minute time frame. Let's start with the first AI in this competition, the Chinese open source LLM, DeepSeek. DeepSeek's strategy was to enter when the following conditions are true. The 9 EMA crosses above the 21 EMA, the current candle price closes above both moving averages, and the current candle has higher volume than the previous candle. Once all these conditions are true upon candle closure, we enter a long. The exit rules are simply 0.1% take profit and 0.05% stop loss. So let's test it out. First, let's go to tradingview.com and go to NASDAQ futures on the 1-minute time frame. Now let's click on indicators at the top and add exponential moving average twice. Then let's add volume. I'm going to go to one of the EMAs and change the length to 9 and change the color to cyan. Then I'm going to go to the other EMA, change the length to 21 and change the color to yellow. Now before I run the simulation, let's find some live examples of it on the chart and see what it looks like in action. So we have an example right here. The 9 EMA has just crossed above the 21 EMA. Price has closed above both EMAs and volume is higher than it was in the previous candle. So that is an entry. We set our stop loss to 0.05% and our take profit to 0.1%, and then we let it play out and see what happens. And boom, that's a win. We then get another example right here. If I look at the numbers on the top left, I will see that the 9 EMA has officially crossed over the 21 EMA on this exact candle. The candle has closed above both EMAs and volume is higher than it was in the previous candle. So that is an entry. We set our stop loss to 0.05%, our take profit to 0.1%, and then we let it play out and see what happens. And that is a loss. So let's go over one more example. We can see on this candle that the 9 EMA has crossed above the 21 EMA and the candle has closed above both EMAs and the volume is higher than the volume was in the previous candle. So we set our stop loss at 0.05%, our take profit to 0.1%, and we let it play out and see what happens. And that is a win. This actually looks like a pretty good strategy, but let's see how good it actually is by running it through a 3-month simulation. To do this, we're going to be using an indicator called the Strat Builder or Strategy Builder. The Strategy Builder is going to allow us to input all of our entry and exit conditions and get instant backtests. This will save us hundreds, if not thousands of hours or more over our trading career, since manual backtesting can take an hour or 2 per strategy. And it'll let us set alerts and even possibly automate our strategies to our broker or exchange if we want to go that route. No coding required. You can try it free with the first link in the description. Now for each strategy in this video, we're going to go with 20,000 initial capital and order size is 1 quantity. I'll put up the entry and exit conditions on the side so you can follow along in case you forgot. First, let's make sure position side is set to longs. Then come down here and select EMA 9 crossover EMA 21 and click entry. Then we'll do close is greater than EMA 9 and click entry. Then we'll do close greater than EMA 21 and click entry. Then we'll go to slope conditions and do volume positive and click entry. A positive slope on the strategy builder just means that the current value is greater than the previous value. Now for our exit conditions, we'll come down and set take profit to 0.1% and stop loss to 0.05%. And that's it. Now the strategy builder will give us an instant backtest, and if we look at the results over the past 90 days, we see a very impressive 95% total P&L with a pretty smooth equity curve. Now it does only have a 35% win rate, but it's still profitable because we're using a 2x risk-reward ratio. And this strategy would have actually outperformed buying and holding the NASDAQ over the past 90 days. Pretty impressive results, but now let's move on to the next AI in this competition, Google's very own Gemini. Gemini's strategy was to enter when the following conditions are true. Price must be trading above the 50 EMA. The 50 EMA must be moving upward, so I'm going to take this to mean that the current value must be higher than the previous value. And then we enter a long immediately on the first touch of the 50 EMA. The exit rules are 0.1% stop loss and 0.15% take profit, or close the trade immediately if a 1-minute candle closes below the 50 EMA. So let's open up a fresh chart on TradingView and add exponential moving average, then go to the settings and change length to 50. That is the only indicator we need for this strategy. And I went ahead and plugged in all the conditions into the strategy builder again and did a simulation over the last 90 days, and the results were pretty bad. Not even a positive P&L. But if we just remove the exit condition where we exit when price closes below the 50 EMA, It actually improves it a good amount. 65% total P&L, but I just don't like this equity curve at all, and I would definitely not recommend trading this strategy. So I'm not even going to go over any live examples for the strategy, but luckily we do have one more AI left in this competition. So let's move on to our third and final AI competitor for the video, the AI that started it all, ChatGPT. ChatGPT's strategy was to enter when the following conditions are true. Price is above VWAP, which stands for volume weighted average price. EMA 9 is above EMA 21. Price touches EMA 9. And RSI with 14 length is between 40 and 60 at the moment of the EMA 9 touch. We then enter the long immediately at the 9 EMA touch. For the exit conditions, the stop loss is 0.2% and the take profit is 0.26%. Or we exit when the RSI reaches 65 to 70. Let's just say 65. Probably our most complex strategy so far, but let's head to the chart and see how it looks live, and then we'll test it in the simulation. We'll need to add these indicators: volume weighted average price, exponential moving average, twice, and the RSI, or relative strength index. Let's go to the RSI and make sure length is set at 14. Then let's go to the first exponential moving average and set length to 9 and change the color to cyan. Then let's go to the second exponential moving average and set length to 21 and change the color to yellow. By the way, you don't have to do the same colors as me. These are just the colors I like. I went ahead and plugged these conditions into the strategy builder and did a simulation over the past 90 days. But before I show you the results, let's look at a couple live examples on the chart. So we have an entry right here. We have price above the VWAP. The VWAP is all the way down here, this blue line. We have the EMA 9, this cyan line, above EMA 21, this yellow line. We have RSI between 40 and 60. These two blue lines are 40 and 60. And then we enter along on the test of the 9 EMA. Then for our stop loss and take profit, we set our stop loss 0.2% below our entry and our take profit 0.26%. So that is all the way down here for our stop loss and all the way up here for our take profit. Pretty far. Our exit condition is also RSI greater than 65. This strategy is definitely going to 99% of the time exit when RSI gets above 65 before it hits the take profit. But the take profit is there just in case. And by the way, just in case it wasn't clear, the reason there's an entry line, stop loss line, take profit line, the highlighted bars, is because I do have the strat builder on. So the strat builder is automatically identifying all of the entries and exits and the take profits and stop losses. And so as you could have guessed, we did end up winning right here. The RSI gets above 65 before hitting our stop loss, so that is a win. We then get another entry right here. We have price above the VWAP. We have EMA 9 above EMA 21, and then we enter on a test of the 9 EMA. RSI also between 40 and 60. And then we get our win 2 bars later when RSI gets above 65. We then get another entry very soon after, price above VWAP again, EMA 9 above EMA 21. We enter on a test of the 9 EMA, RSI between 40 and 60, and we set our take profit up here, stop loss right here, and then we let it play out. This one, much longer one, but it does end up winning when RSI gets above 65. And then right here we have another entry and then immediate win right after. Looks pretty good, but how did it perform over the last 90 days? Well, thankfully, the strategy builder has already given us an instant backtest, and I'm about to show it to you in 3, 2, 1. The strategy returned an impressive 200% total P&L over the past 90 days with a 71% win rate and a decent equity curve. I do like my equity curves on my strategies to be a little smoother than this though, so I actually went back to the strategy builder and tried to optimize it a bit. And I actually found that just by adding a higher time frame filter where you only take trades when the 30-minute 9 EMA is greater than the 30-minute 21 EMA, it actually improved the total P&L to 209% and really smoothed out the equity curve. But either way, this is definitely the best strategy out of all the AIs, making ChatGPT the clear winner of this challenge. Sorry, China and Google. If you want to see the full settings and results of this strategy and dozens of other strategies, you can find them in our free Discord in the strategies channel. I'll put the link below. And if you want to try out the strategy builder for yourself and build your own strategies on any chart, on any time frame using any indicators on TradingView, and get instant backtests, instant alerts, and even automate your strategies, try out the strategy builder free by going to the first link in the description. And if you like these strategies and you want to see more like them, check out my favorite stochastic trading strategy by clicking the video on screen right now.